tonight we are going to put together a really easy and delicious sheet pan stuffer. I love these. They're a great way to use up any kind of leftover veggies or meat products, whatever you have in your fridge or in your freezer. Throw it all on a sheet pan, pop it in the oven, and then that's it. It's great for weeknights when you're on the go or coming in from work and you're just dead tired and you don't feel like slaving away in the kitchen all afternoon. It's a great way to use up any kind of leftover veggies you may have and get a great meal on the table, and it's really awesome as leftovers. And what's great is it's honestly like a blank canvas. You can season and spice up all of your ingredients however you choose. So tonight we are going to be doing a sausage sheet pan stuffer. Say that about like 4 times fast. So I'm gonna be using fresh Cajun sausage, but you can use whatever you like. You can use Italian sausage, you can use green onion sausage, whatever you like, whatever you have on hand. I always have Cajun sausage on hand and it works really great with all of the veggies we're gonna pair it with. And then for the vegetable part, we have some potatoes, some Brussels sprouts, some peppers, and we're gonna drizzle it with some balsamic vinegar, and it's gonna give it a really nice zesty kind of flavor that'll be really nice with the kind of richness of the sausage. So we're gonna put it all together and pop it in the oven. What's great about these sheet pan stuffers is that there really is no prep work other than cleaning and chopping your vegetables. So what I have here is just whatever I had in my fridge that I wanted to use up. I have some little mini bell peppers. This is an assortment of yellow and orange and red. They're really crisp and sweet, and I love the combination of sausage and peppers. So we're just gonna add about a cup of these, and I kept the chunks of them fairly big just because I don't want anything to get too overcooked in the oven. This is gonna have to bake for about 30 to 45 minutes until the sausage is cooked through. So you wanna make sure that your vegetables are cut up in big enough pieces that they can withstand that amount of cooking time. So we're just gonna add this to our sheet pan. So we added our peppers on the sheet pan. Now we're gonna add some onion. Onion is always one of those ingredients that I have on hand, so it's great to throw in these sheet pan dinners and use them up. So what I have here is just a quarter of an onion that I cut in half, and then I cut into bigger chunks. Like I said, I want everything to kind of stay big so that after it cooks, it still has a good texture to it and it doesn't get too mushy. So a quarter of an onion here, and then we have about 4 cloves of garlic. I didn't chop these up, I just smashed them and peeled them. I like to leave them whole just because if you have too smaller pieces of garlic scattered throughout, they tend to burn a little bit quicker. So next we're gonna add in some mushrooms. These are some little baby portobello mushrooms. Again, mushrooms is one of those vegetable items that I always have on hand, and they roast up really, really nicely, and they go great with the sausage. They are like sponges and they absorb up a lot of the sausage drippings that come out of them. So it's like sausage flavored mushrooms. It's so good. So we're gonna add about a cup of these, and I leave them whole just because this is gonna roast, like I said, for about 30 to 45 minutes, and that's plenty enough time for these to cook through. And I also like to leave the stems on them as well, unless they're like tough and dry, because those have great flavor too. All right, so we've added all these other vegetables. Next thing we're gonna add is probably my favorite vegetable of all time, and that is Brussels sprouts. I love Brussels sprouts. I love them roasted on their own, and I especially love them in these sheet pan dinners. They get really crisp but still tender on the inside, and they have this really great nutty flavor. These are fairly small. If you have really big Brussels sprouts, I would just cut them in half or quarter them, just because you want them to be able to cook through. 30 to 45 minutes when they're this size is plenty enough time, but if you're afraid that it's a little too big, then just cut it in half or quarter it and it'll be perfect. So now we gotta have a little starch because I am the self-proclaimed carb queen. So potatoes for me is the best kind of starch to add to this. Sweet potatoes is a really great option. I'm gonna use today is just these little small baby potatoes. Do is cut them in half. You could leave them whole if they're smaller, but I like to cut them in half because I like for the surface of the potatoes where it's cut to get really crispy and brown. All of our veggies chopped up, tossed in the pan, and now we're gonna season them. I really like balsamic when it comes to sausage, and I think the balsamic pairs really well with all of the individual vegetables. First, we're gonna drizzle it with some extra virgin olive oil. So we added the olive oil, and now I'm just drizzling a little bit of some balsamic vinegar. You could even use like a balsamic glaze. Those are really rich and thick. And then we're gonna go in with some fresh cracked pepper and some salt. And you can leave it just as it is with the salt and the pepper and the balsamic, but I like to add just a little extra flavor to it. I'm gonna add my toasted onion and garlic seasoning. I add this pretty much to everything. It's a sin. But what I love about it is that there's no salt to it, so it gives that great onion, garlicky flavor, but I don't have to worry about it adding to the salt value of this and over salting things. We're gonna add in a little sprinkling of 21 Seasoning Salute. It's a great seasoning blend because it's got a little bit of everything in there and it goes well with all of the vegetables in here as well as the sausage. All right, now just to add some really great herby flavor, I have just a mixture of some dried herbs. This is parsley, rosemary, thyme, oregano. Ryan's grandma actually puts this together. She dries them all up and grinds them. So it's a great herb mixture that I really like to add to really anything. So we're just gonna do a sprinkling of this. Put whatever dried herbs or even fresh herbs you have. They'll all really taste good. All right, so I have them all nice and tossed together. So now we're gonna add in our sausage. I just have 4 links of fresh Cajun sausage and we're just gonna lay these on top. All of the drippings out of these are going to go all over the vegetables and it's gonna be so good. All right, so we have everything together on our sheet pan. Now we're gonna pop this into a 375-degree oven for about 30 to 45 minutes. You really just want the sausage to cook through. And about halfway through, I'm gonna go and turn the links as well and give all the vegetables a good tossing. That way everything gets a chance to cook evenly and then it'll be ready to go. All right, y'all, don't these look unbelievable? It smells so good. Got to try it and tell me what y'all think.